And we are on the air, obviously, with a truncated version of Meet the Press now, literally picking up coverage where we just left off. I'm Chuck Todd. I've been reporting here in Washington on this historic day as Donald Trump became the first former president in the United States ever to appear in court having to face a criminal charge. Donald Trump wasn't just a former president when he appeared in court today. He's also an active current candidate for president of the United States. He's arguably the frontrunner for the Republican nomination right now, and he holds considerable sway over his party. There are pictures of Mr. Trump inside that Manhattan courtroom a short time ago, where after nearly a week of speculation, we found out what charges he would face. 34 felony counts of falsifying business records in the first degree, all of which the former president pled not guilty to. This indictment is focused on the Stormy Daniels case. There is no specific conspiracy count included in it. But in the statement of facts, there seems to be an implication of a conspiracy for what that's worth. Perhaps a more telling document is the statement of facts. It was released alongside the indictment itself. And it's the statement that describes the so-called conspiracy of a catch-and-kill scheme. It accuses the former president of orchestrating the scheme with others to influence the 2016 presidential election in an attempt to suppress any negative information about Trump. With the National Enquirer, basically, it's the magnet. As people tried to sell their stories, they would in some ways almost help catch the story and kill it. Donald Trump did not speak to reporters as he entered and exited both the courthouse and the courtroom. It's a notable thing because if he felt so good about this, felt that it was such a positive, that bravado might have carried over into the courthouse. He chose not to do that. But right now, he is on his way back to Florida, where he has promised to address his supporters later tonight. The district attorney, Manhattan's DA Alvin Bragg, just wrapped up a news conference where he briefed reporters on the case against the former president, saying that these felonies do matter no matter who you are.
The participant scheme was illegal. The scheme violated New York election law, which makes it a crime to conspire to promote a candidacy by unlawful means. The $130,000 wire payment exceeded the federal campaign contribution cap, and the false statements in AMI's books violated New York law. That is why Mr. Trump made false statements about his payments to Mr. Cohen.
The former president's attorneys weighed in on today's arraignment shortly before the district attorney with their own impromptu press conference.
I was surprised there were no facts in there. I mean, normally in an indictment you have alleged facts. So they said that this was a false business record entry to aid and abet another crime without saying what the other crime was.
He's frustrated, he's upset, but I'll tell you what, he's motivated, and it's not going to stop him, and it's not going to slow him down, and it's exactly what he expected.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.